everybody, it's Lindy. So, as promised, this is the Cheapskate's Guide to Shipping Supplies. First, let's talk poly mailers. Poly mailers are something that is a staple item to have for packaging supplies for shipping. Mainly because poly mailers are a lot more lightweight than bubble mailers are, and you can get them for a lot less money. So, me personally, I use 3 different sizes of poly mailers, okay? The first size that I use is just a very small, let me see, what size is this? I promise I thought I was prepared, but I believe that this is a 7 by 10, 7 by 9, something like that, but it is by eBay. The reason why I bought these, had this not been the case, I would not have bought these. When you have a store subscription, you get coupons to use on eBay advertised shipping supplies. So a few months ago, I had gotten a coupon for $25 off shipping supplies. So I used that $25 coupon and I bought 200 of these size mailers, and I paid only $6 out of pocket. It was around $15 for 100 of them, I think, but I got 2 packages of 100, used my $25 off coupon, and I paid only $6 for 200 of these. These I usually only use to ship things like small food items or small retail items. I really don't ship clothing items in these just because it looks big while I'm holding it, but when you go to put something in it, it's a lot smaller than you think it's gonna be. So, you know, you might be able to fit a video game in here, or, you know, maybe a pair of underwear or small children's clothing, something like that. But I haven't gone through very many of these yet. 200 is gonna last me a while. But they were very, very cheap. So, you know, 200 for $6. Make sure that you are using those eBay shipping coupons if you get them, because cheapskates like coupons. So, the next size that I use is this one right here. It is a 12 by 16, I want to say. A 12 by 16. I will insert the listing that I purchased right here. Was it a 12 by 16? Was I right? Was I wrong? Who's to say? I just know that I was able to purchase 200 of these for a little over $21. So that is only around $10 for 100, which is a fantastic price. You can't go wrong. And they're nice and thick. They are rip resistant, they're puncture resistant. I love these. These I will use to ship almost all of my clothing items, almost every single one, and basically anything that fits in here. If there's a clothing item that's a lot smaller, all I simply do is just fold it over like this. I just fold it over to the point where the item fits in it well. I don't see a point in having, you know, 8 different sizes of poly mailers. First of all, it's gonna get hard to keep track of all of them. If you're going for a poly mailer and you just reach in and you grab a poly mailer, knowing what size it is just by looking at it will be difficult unless you get different colors, and then it's just more money. And a nice large size poly mailer for general use is a good one. So I go for the 12 by 16. Then the third poly mailer that I use is a really big 14 by 19. These I also purchase off eBay, and I'll put that post right here. The reason why I selected these was because I thought that they were the best value for the size. I got 100 of these really super large poly mailers for only $15. And I just have to say, If you can get shipping supplies through eBay over Amazon, do eBay, because anything you buy on eBay does nothing but give you positive feedback. And if your feedback has been suffering, then that positive feedback can help pull you back up. If you have low feedback, it'll help bring you up. So if you can get your shipping supplies for a decent price, even if it's the same price as Amazon, select eBay. That way it benefits you in the long run with your feedback score. But these really large poly mailers, I tend to use for large clothing items, plus size clothing items, plushes. I usually use these for plushes almost every single time. Some of the plushes that I sell are between 15 and 20 inches tall, and they fit in here perfectly. So that's it for my poly mailers. I use those 3 sizes. I believe it's a 9, an 8x9, 7x9. I'm not sure. I have to be honest and say I'm not sure. But it's like a 7x9, I want to say. And then a 12x14 and a 14x19. Those are the 3 poly mailers that I choose, and those are the best prices that I have found them at on eBay. Next, let's talk about priority mail shipping supplies. For the love of Pete, don't use your poly mailers and your boxes for priority mail unless you have to. You get them for free. And cheapskates love free. Only are they free, but the United States Postal Service will deliver them to your house for free. But if you can't wait, you can just walk into the post office and grab them. So, which ones do I tend to use the most often? Let me show you. I really like using flat rate. I've said in another one of my videos that I don't like worrying about calculating price by weight, just because it can vary across the country. When you have a flat rate envelope or a flat rate box, it doesn't matter where it goes in the country, it doesn't matter how much it weighs, it will ship for X amount of dollars. And it's convenient and it's easier, okay? There is a medium flat rate box that is, it's a narrow and long one, and this ships for around $12. I don't use it too often. All these boxes I don't use too often. I usually use the padded flat rates, but the mediums are around $12. And then the large flat rate boxes. There is also a medium flat rate box that is like this one. There's 2 different medium flat rates. There's the one that I showed you, and then one that's like this but smaller. But this one is a large one. So you can fit a good amount of stuff in here. This is a 12 by 12 by 6 box. So, and I believe this one ships for $17, which is pretty pricey. If you have something that weighs a ton, I would definitely look at the calculated shipping when you go to ship the item and price it against this box to see which one is cheaper, because flat rate is not always cheaper. You do get the free supplies with the flat rate, but just because you get the supply for the flat rate box doesn't mean that it's going to be cheaper than paying by weight. Always pick the cheaper option. I do not have, sorry guys, I do not have any of the regular priority mailboxes. They do exist. They do exist, and you can get them online, but I haven't had the need to order a large quantity of just the regular priority mailboxes, so I don't have any. Just because, like I said, I use flat rate all the time. But if you just need a regular box that's not a flat rate, you can still get those for free. Just go check out the USPS website and you can get a case delivered to your door, or you could check your post office and see if they have any that are not flat rate. Then the 2 that I use the most are the paper, cardboard, whatever you want to call them, flat rate mailers, and the padded flat rate mailers. Okay, these will ship for $5.60 or $5.75 depending on on if you're a top rated seller or not. And the paddeds will ship for $5.90 or $6.10 depending on whether or not you're top rated. And again, same thing with these. It doesn't matter where in the country it's going. It doesn't matter how much the weight is in them. They ship for that cost. So it is super convenient when you're doing your listings. This is a legal size, which is what I use for all of my jeans. And then this is a regular flat rate size that I use for a lot of other things, like if I sell lotions like I did this last week. Both of these sizes are readily available at the post office. For me, I do have access to the padded flat rates at my post office, but I know that not everybody has the padded flat rates at their post office. So you will have to order these online. And I highly, highly recommend that you order a really large quantity of them because it will take some time to get to you. It seems like every single time I order these online, I will get these way faster than I get these. So I'm really thankful that my post office has these on hand, but that doesn't mean I want to have to go in and grab bundles every week. So, more free supplies. I like free. Next, my favorite of all favorite cheapskate items, bread bags. Yeah, remember when I did that video about shipping jeans? And I talked about putting jeans in a clear bag just to give it some extra protection. That is these. I buy these at Walmart, 100 for about $2. This box of 100 bags is $2, which is 2 cents a bag. And for me, if I was receiving an item, I would like the extra security of having an item in this. It's just a double layer of protection because at first glance, these are really thin. And if it does get punctured, you don't want the item inside to be just completely exposed. This, even though it's not really thick, it does give the illusion of being an extra barrier. So I will put almost everything in these bread bags. Like almost everything. I will make it fit. They're a really decent size. They fit clothing items perfectly. So at 2 cents a piece, I think that it's totally worth it, although some might find it unnecessary. I think it's totally worth it to purchase. I have done my share of looking for clear bags online, and I can't find any that are as cheap as these. The only downside to these is they are not self-sealing, so you do need to have a piece of tape to close it. But I am a huge fan of these. Next, let's talk bubble wrap. I have to tell you guys, I do not buy padded envelopes. I don't. I don't sell a lot of electronics or DVDs or CDs, but even if I did, I wouldn't buy padded envelopes just because I find them to be way too expensive. So whenever I do have something that I feel needs some extra protection, I just use a poly bag and some bubble wrap. This bubble wrap is Duck brand. Here, I took a video. Here's the video. You can buy super jumbo rolls of bubble wrap online for cheaper than you can buy at Walmart. However, this is a big however. I already have enough stuff in my house. I don't want a roll of bubble wrap that is 5 times this size. I don't want a giant thing of bubble wrap sitting in my living room. I don't want to have to walk around it in my basement. So I don't have a problem spending a little bit more money by the foot to just maintain a smaller roll. Now, that being said, a lot of the times, this is what I do. I don't buy them at Walmart. Nope, I don't buy them at Walmart. I just took that video to show you that you can buy them at Walmart, but I don't buy them at Walmart. What do? I buy them at Amazon because Amazon has the exact same bubble wrap for either the same price or cheaper. Yeah, cheaper. This roll, this is about, it's about maybe a little under halfway gone. I bought this on Amazon, $16.88 at Walmart. I got it for $12.88 on Amazon. And here is another cheapskate reason why I choose Amazon. Not just because the price is cheaper, but because of this. This right here. When you order bubble wrap from Amazon, it comes in a big old box. And that's just a free box that you can use for shipping. Right now, this is the box that I'm using to gather up stuff to send into FBA. So this box is, oh my goodness, I can't even, shoot, maybe 14 by 28 by 20. It's damn near close to 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. It's a nice size box. And the fact that, I can go to Walmart and buy it for $16.88, or I can get it on Amazon for the same price or cheaper and get a good giant box out of the deal. I'm gonna go with the deal that gets me the big giant box. Just make sure that you plan ahead to wait for the shipping. Let's talk about shipping tape. Okay, I know a lot of people don't like these, but this is what I use. I'm not very rough on it. It hasn't broken for me. I've had this same one for at least 6 months. So here's a video of all of the costs at Walmart. I used to buy all of my rolls of shipping tape at Walmart prior to finding them on eBay for a lot cheaper. So at Walmart, the tape that I use regularly that I find works the best is the Scotch shipping, not the packaging tape, but the shipping tape. It is a lot heavier duty, and yeah, you need heavier duty when it's going across the country. And then, where's my box cutter? Okay, so I'll show you guys. I started buying them in packages of 6 rolls for just a little over $20 on eBay. Also, another plus side from ordering these supplies on eBay as opposed to just getting them from Walmart is the fact that you get a really nice size box. This is a nice long box that would probably be good for first class. So I just recently ordered these, but you know, so 4 rolls for almost $17 versus 6 rolls for $20. Cost per roll is much cheaper. And I'm sure that you saw that there are rolls that are like $1 a roll. But take it from me, don't use those. I find that they don't stick. They really come off cardboard. For the love of God, don't use them to tape up cardboard. They just, like, with just a little bit of humidity or warm weather, they just pop open. So I would stay away from cheap tape. It's going to cost you in the long run because you're going to run into problems with delivery. So that is how I handle shipping tape. Buy it on eBay, it's cheaper per roll. You can buy huge cases of it from Uline, but I don't see it necessary to buy a huge case of tape. I sell around 150 to 200 items a month, and it'll take me 2 or 3 months to go through all of this tape, especially since I switched to shipping labels, which shipping labels I also got from eBay, and if I can find exactly what the listing was, I'll put it right here. So If you're needing boxes, but you don't want to send for priority mail boxes, you can also check with local stores or local Facebook groups for people that might have moved and have a whole bunch of boxes. You could put the word out that you're looking for boxes, and you can have people message you and tell you that they have boxes for you to take. You know, and there's a lot of stores that also have boxes, and either you can go to them and ask them for their boxes, or you can raid their dumpsters. Whatever you see fit. Something else that I do is I try to get as many bins and totes as I can from Menards. And what I do is I buy them when Menards is having their 11% off rebate sale. And what I do is I'll buy my totes, I'll submit the 11% off rebate. Then when that rebate comes, I will wait for the next 11% off rebate sale, and I will use my rebate money to buy more totes and then submit for another 11% off rebate. It's a steady saving process, and when you start getting your rebate credits rolling in, it knocks some money off of the top of the totes as well. If you don't want to buy shipping labels, then you don't have to. You can just use regular white copy paper. I have found that the cheapest price is at Walmart, and this is what it is currently. Print a lot of labels for $5, right? We're talking 1,500 labels, so that's pretty good. Also, a couple of things that I do to lessen the out-of-pocket cost on shipping supplies. There's two specific things that I do. Number one is there is an app that I use that gives me cash back on purchases that I make. It's called iBotta. And I find that it is an excellent resource for extra money when I purchase my shipping supplies. I will put all of the information in the video description. But what it is, if you don't know already, it is an app that you can use to submit for rebates whenever you go grocery shopping or go shopping anywhere. There's rebates for almost everything. Well, if you happen to buy something that has a rebate on it, all you have to do is snap a picture of the barcode, snap a picture of your receipt, and submit it, and you can start racking up money in your account. Right now, if you use my referral code, you'll get a bonus $10. It should be $10. I'm going to double check that, but it should be a bonus $10 after you redeem your first rebate. So I'll put that referral code in the bottom too. It's free money. I love free money. Another thing that I do is I use an Amazon Chase credit card when I do buy supplies on Amazon, or frankly, whenever I buy anything on Amazon. It gets me 3% cash back, and I can use that 3% cash back to buy shipping supplies like the bubble wrap or poly mailers if I'm low on cash and need to use my cash back to buy the poly mailers. So using cashback credit cards, using the cashback options to buy your shipping supplies is a very, very nice option. It really helps to lower that out-of-pocket cost. So even though shipping supplies are tax deductible, doesn't mean that you want to spend all that money up front, right? So as little out of pocket as we can is always the goal. You can also buy shipping supplies at Dollar Tree, as I'm sure you saw in one of my sourcing videos. However, be very, very careful with that. Do not use Dollar Tree as your only source of shipping supplies because you will pay more per piece. If you are just getting started and you don't want to buy 100 mailers or 200 mailers or 500 mailers, if you don't want to buy a giant thing of bubble wrap wherever it went, you can get those supplies at Dollar Tree, but you are going to spend more on them. It'll be less out of pocket in the beginning, but in the long run, you're gonna lessen your profits by paying more just for the shipping supplies. So keep that in mind. All right, you guys, that's basically everything that I do for saving money on shipping supplies. I hope you found it helpful. If you yourself have any tips on how to save money on shipping supplies, feel free to leave a comment below so that we can all get in on this cheapskate action. I absolutely hate spending my profits on things to package more items and send them out. I want to save as much money as possible when it comes to shipping. So I really hope that this helped you guys out. I hope it gave you some ideas that maybe you hadn't thought of. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to me yet, I hope that you will. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you with my next video. Bye.